If you've heard about cryptocurrency at all, you've probably heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, and they run on a very similar kind of technology called blockchain. But within the world of cryptocurrency, they actually differ quite a bit, and learning about the ways that they differ can help you learn quite a bit about cryptocurrency, how it works, and where it might be going in the next few years. Today, we're going to talk about the real difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Before we get started, I want to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. This is not personalized financial advice. So when it comes to Bitcoin versus Ethereum, let's think about what one might be good for versus the other. We'll just take a quick overview. So if you're thinking about cryptocurrency as a way to do peer-to-peer payments, maybe store of value, that's really where Bitcoin is stronger. If you're interested in decentralization in general, applying decentralization to different fields or different sectors of the economy, potentially that would be a better application for Ethereum. Let's talk about Ethereum first because Ethereum is a little more complicated and I think it will help you understand Bitcoin a little better. Out of the two major cryptocurrencies, Ethereum is the newer one. It was created with some additional capabilities. And the main thing it can do is run applications that can't run on maybe some of the earlier cryptocurrency networks. Now, running applications on a blockchain network, that sounds kind of complicated. So what does that mean in practice? Well, you can create things that you can run without a central authority that might otherwise need them. Games, lending products, things called smart contracts, where basically something is settled and paid without someone having to decide whether it actually happened. So yes, this software stuff can seem pretty complicated and it might be hard to understand how it might touch your life. So here's a couple examples for how it might affect a consumer. Maybe a product that enables direct peer-to-peer lending that earns interest. Insurance with no insurance company. Payments without the payment processing company. Music streaming in which the money goes directly to an artist, not a streaming platform or a record label. Art auctions without an auctioneer. Marketplaces for non-fungible tokens or NFTs, which we'll have to describe to you in another video, and online gaming or code collaboration between developers. If you own Ethereum, you can basically use it to interact with these kinds of projects. You can either invest in these projects using your Ethereum, or you can use the projects. Doing things on the Ethereum network costs Ethereum's cryptocurrency, which is actually called Ether or ETH. So if you wanted to go ahead and try one of these things that I just described, you could find out which ones are reputable on the network and actually put some of your money into it and see if you like how it works. In order to do any of these things, you need to have some Ethereum. And that's why you might buy Ethereum. Now, you might also buy it as an investment product, but if you want to do anything on any of these kinds of platforms that exist on Ethereum, you have to have some Ethereum. That's what creates the demand for Ethereum. So in 2022, something's happening with Ethereum that is going to have big implications for the rest of the cryptocurrency world. Now, it's going to have a couple technical things. I'm going to try to break them down as simply as I can. So right now, Ethereum is created mostly using a process called mining. You've probably heard of it. Mining essentially means that you're running a powerful computer to solve complicated equations that help secure the network and make sure that people have as much Ethereum as they say they do, and that the transactions being reported to the network are accurate. Now, mining has worked pretty well for Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of security. The networks have generally held up. However, mining is extremely energy intensive and it's resource intensive for people who have to do it as well. So Ethereum has been in the process for several years of transitioning to something called staking. Staking is a way of earning cryptocurrency by putting basically what it sounds like, putting your cryptocurrency at stake to vouch for the authenticity of transactions on the network. You get a little bit of a reward for doing it, and you help to secure the network. Now, it's very complicated to move a big blockchain project like Ethereum with many users to a brand new protocol. So Ethereum's been working on doing this for a long time, and if it works, it will say a lot about how energy intensive cryptocurrency is going to be, and maybe how many people are going to be able to adopt it, and even how the rewards of the world of cryptocurrency are going to be distributed among people. If Ethereum is able to pull off the transition, the developers of the project have said that there could be all kinds of benefits, like transaction fees, which have been relatively expensive on Ethereum, could go down. Transactions could be faster, but this transition has to work. Now, this is a real contrast with Bitcoin, because for the foreseeable future, Bitcoin is going to continue to use mining, and Bitcoin uses a ton of electricity because it's so widely used. In fact, there are some estimates that say it uses as much electricity in a year as many countries do. So that has created a lot of objections among people who are concerned about energy use, climate change, the environment, to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general because they're using an awful lot of energy. Now, Enthusiasts of Bitcoin have said that you can offset some of this by maybe using renewable resources like wind energy or solar energy to power Bitcoin mining operations. It's going to be up to you and other consumers to decide whether you think this is a workable transition to move Bitcoin to renewable energy. So Bitcoin is really the first cryptocurrency. The idea that animated Bitcoin is basically the fundamental idea behind all the other cryptocurrencies. Now, a lot of people have tried to do it better, Ethereum included, but Bitcoin has stuck around as the most valuable and most established cryptocurrency there is. And it's important to remember that when Bitcoin started, mining was something you could do on your personal computer. You're basically just running equations over and over again until your computer's done enough work to show that, you're not making something up. So in the end, Bitcoin has grown based on how popular it is to be something that's really competitive. A reward of 1 Bitcoin used to be worth basically nothing when it started, more than a decade ago, but now it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, of course people are going to compete for it, and the more you compete, the harder it is, and the more transactions, the more competition there is. So that's, the competition is an effect of the popularity of Bitcoin. And again, one of the big questions about cryptocurrency is, will people adopt it, right? Like, will people use it? And as far as the cryptocurrency world goes, Bitcoin is quite commonly used. Now, generally it can be used either as an investment. You could buy it and hold it and hope it goes up in value, hope it doesn't go down. You could buy it and use it to do peer-to-peer payments. So essentially, when you use an app to do payments, Venmo, Cash App, something like that. If you use an app like that, you're basically letting a company tell you, okay, you have this much money, you're going to send it to this other user. Bitcoin can do that without a company. That's basically the innovation of Bitcoin. It's a way for all the computers on the network to agree who has how much money, and when I pay you, money leaves my account and goes into yours. Bitcoin found a way to do this, and again, all cryptocurrencies that have been developed since then kind of rely on that fundamental innovation. Now let's talk about a few of the similarities. The main one is that they both run on blockchain technology, which we've talked about a little bit here. That's what makes them cryptocurrencies, basically. The second is that even though you don't pay a company to use these, you do pay the network. You have to incentivize people to run this network, and you pay what are called network fees. Now they pay for different things and they can vary, but with Bitcoin and Ethereum, you may pay a couple dollars to do a transaction. Another similarity is that people have generally used these in a lot of cases for investment, right? They haven't always bought them because they thought the technology was something they wanted to use. So those transaction fees might not matter that much to someone who's only holding them. But if you want to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum, you have to remember that there's a lot of speculation happening, a lot of people thinking about what the future value will be, and they might be right and they might be wrong. They might be way off and it will go up a lot, or they might be way off and it will go down a lot. They might be right on target and your investment won't do much. No one really knows that much about the cycles that these cryptocurrencies are going to follow and what might affect them and how they might react to other economic cycles. It's just really important to keep that in mind. Another thing is, we're talking Bitcoin versus Ethereum here, right? There may not be a winner. All cryptocurrencies could turn out to be less than we had hoped. Or cryptocurrencies in general could take off and people could decide over the course of many years that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not the best ways of using blockchain technology. There are tons of competitors trying to do fundamentally the same thing as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there are really smart people running these projects and trying to make them better and outcompete. Maybe they're cheaper. Maybe they circulate faster. Maybe they don't rely on mining. Maybe Ethereum's transition won't work out and someone's done it better. So there's lots of ways that this could go sideways, but it might work out. And these are two that have, in the relatively short period of cryptocurrency's history, stood the test of time, such as it is. My name is Andy Rosen, an investing writer for NerdWallet. I have bought a little bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum in my spare time, but I have to say that so far my investments haven't done very well. If you learned something in this video, please hit like and subscribe.